has to deal with when they play a character as iconic as Aunt Bee was. They become typecast, and people expect them to act like the character they portrayed in real life. Sometimes it can just become too much. So I stumbled across this the other day. The headline, "A Lonely End!" Exclamation point. Aunt Bee's feud to the grave with Andy Griffith. And then the subheadline, "The beloved star died furious over her co-star's coldness." Is it true? Well, in this case, there's some truth to the headlines, but there's an awful lot that is left out. Yes, it is true that Frances Bavier didn't always get along well with the cast, including Andy. But from what I understand, despite the acclaim for her work on the show as Andy's beloved Aunt Bee, Frances, she just never felt like she was part of the group. And she had a hard time handling some of the joking around that happened on set. She viewed her role as exacting work, an opportunity to share her craft, to share her talent, and she did that very, very well. But no, she didn't become a warm, close friend of Andy Griffith's, or anyone else for that matter. For more details, search Carolina Camera Aunt Bee Retires on YouTube. This 4-minute interview will provide insights into the actress that my words or internet hearsay and rumors simply can't provide. In the interview, Frances is articulate and reflective of the impact of her work. If you're a fan of the Andy Griffith Show and you haven't watched this, you should. I'll provide a link to it at the end of this video. So let's get back to this supposed feud that went to the grave. It didn't. I had heard that Frances had connected with Andy near the end of her life, and YouTuber ACL Tony corroborates this truth. He says, "Talented actress. She was reclusive during her final years, but a wonderful thing she did before passing away. She called Andy Griffith and asked him to come over to her place. He visited with her. She apologized to him for the times that she had acted coldly towards him and the cast. Andy, of course, told her to not even fret." And YouTuber Ben Schlechter, well, he also confirms this. He says, although before her death in 1989, she contacted Andy to apologize for her inability to get along. And as long as we're digging deep into the comment threads for information, I thought 68 Lincolns were worth sharing. This is what he or she wrote. "I like her. I like the Andy Griffith Show. Always have, always will. I'm not too concerned about what happened on the set of the TV show between actors. That's their personal business, and I don't really cotton." I love that. I don't really cotton to gossip anyway. I enjoy the show because every episode was well written, well acted, warm, funny, and better than anything on TV these days. So there you go. A little more information about the feud that, quite frankly, never was. End of the day, both Andy and Frances were good people. Good people who weren't perfect. Just like the rest of us, they had their eccentricities. In Frances's case, some of them were magnified because they ran contrary to what we, the viewers, expected of the lady who played Aunt Bee. But both of these fine actors gave us performances that, to this day, truly lift the human spirit. It's why, even though more than a half-decade has passed, we keep going back to Mayberry.